Go live.
We are.
So,
Well, fuck it.
All right.
Hi,
everybody.
Hello, everyone. We got a couple people watching. What's going on? Hey,
I love
Sir
you.
George Harris song. I love you as well.
Harris song, nice.
Yeah, we're just here in the Ably house tonight.
Yep.
We're gonna do some mixing. We figured we would show you guys how we do the early stuff. We haven't done any videos on how to get the sounds for the early sessions. Hello. Melvin. How's it going? Welcome.
We got 20 people.
Good to be here. Great.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if any of y'all have any questions while we're here doing some live streaming, just let us know. We'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll mix the song. We'll be
Picking
showing
up.
you how we do everything and get all the sounds. You know, like as we do.
That's right.
It's pretty exciting. Exclusive
is.
opportunity.
It is. We don't do this much.
No,
We don't get to.
Yeah.
Do you still
Yeah.
do Fab 4?
Oh yeah, I still do Fab 4. I'm doing a lot of
does.
Fab 4 in February. So if you're seeing a Fab 4 show in February, there's a 50-50 chance you'll see me.
Cool. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. To use Audacity, no, we use Logic, which you'll see in a moment.
I use Audacity every once in a while for a thing or two. I sometimes pitch shift with it, and then I'll bounce it as a wave, and I have
And we
a new...
also, the isolated tracks that we have, you can only open and bounce from Audacity. So we
yeah,
use Audacity
there's some
for that.
uses.
Yeah.
Audacity.
But we don't mix any of the songs
No,
on Audacity.
no.
or anything.
Fixing a
What's the
Hole.
song?
Didn't Brendan... Is that one of the ones you did?
I don't think so. I did bass for Fixing a Hole a while ago.
Bass.
But I'm going to redo it to make it more right for you guys. You know,
Sure.
Andrew, do you know?
The new cover? Yeah, we're working on P.S. I Love You, so we'll probably have that up
Yeah.
tomorrow. I haven't started on the video work, but...
Yeah, big reveal. P.S. I Love You is the song we're going to be mixing tonight.
Big reveal, yeah.
Big reveal. You know. Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah, all right.
We could. Why not?
Yeah,
Keep stuff
sometime,
money,
just
you know?
not tonight.
That's it. P.S. I Love You is the next one,
That's
probably.
right. If I Fell. Yeah, I don't have a
Fell.
12-string, so I couldn't really do that part.
We have a lot of songs in the works.
Yeah, we just kind of go in the order of what we have available instrument-wise.
Yeah. And then I'm not always here, so we can't always work on stuff.
That's
but
right.
I'm here right now and we're working on stuff.
Yeah.
So, look at 52 people. Okay, that's pretty
Hey
cool.
guys.
Hey guys.
52 people. Hi, 52 people.
Yeah, hi.
We are 2 people.
Watching likes. We are.
Yeah.
We are. Well, do you want to get started?
Let's get started. What do we got going on, Neil?
What we got going on? Let's show.
We're gonna pull over the mix now.
Yep.
This is what we got.
Okay, this is what we got. So this is P.S. I Love You. This is the basic track setup. Right now, we are gonna reamp the. Hold on. Can we show this guitar
Yeah.
right here? So we just.
You wanna hold it?
Yeah, we just became lucky enough to be able to have this. I assume early to mid '60s J160. It sounds just like John's. It's an amazing guitar, and it's gonna change everything.
Yeah.
So we re-recorded "P.S. I Love You" yesterday with these guitars, or today. I can't remember anymore. We took a DI from it, and we're gonna reamp over there because definitely George is the J160 through what we think at least through the amp, and John's has an ampy sound too. So we're gonna have
Yeah.
both.
It kind of sounded like a mixture between amped and mic'd, so we were just
Yeah.
gonna go for both and.
Yeah, it's bleeding through the mics for sure, but
what
John's
we can
sounds
work with.
very mic'd as well. We thought.
Yeah.
He's
He's a true lefty. Look at him, guys. He's playing chords upside down.
Yeah.
Play Norwegian Wood upside down.
I can't. That's George.
He says it's too hard, but he could probably do it.
I can't. There it gets
No,
too
I
hard.
put him. I
kinda
gave him
do-
pressure. There you go.
I gotta do Blackbird upside down, you know.
With the
capo.
capo. Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah,
We got this capoed up for Norwegian Wood recently. We were recording that today.
we are, you know.
We're almost done with that one as well.
It's a good.
Yeah, Blackbird's been done already. Oh, you were just playing it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Cool.
So we got this now.
We're happy to have it. Thanks, Young, for letting us.
Thanks, Young Hines, for lending this to us. This is
Yeah.
amazing. It sounds just like John's. You know. Let me take the capo off. I'll play a little bit of.
Do All Things Must Pass.
I was gonna do a. You know.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it sounds just like it. I love it. You know.
Yeah. So Somebody wants to know about the D12 and the D19.
The D12 and D19, the kick drum mic.
The kick drum and
then
the overhead. Yeah.
We don't have either of those here.
We don't have
right
them
now.
here. Those are those are Brendan's mics, the
That's
drummer.
right.
Oh, Brendan's here. He's saying yes.
Hell yeah. Brendan's here. All right.
Hey, Brendan. Brendan,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about the D19 and the D12, because we're not the ones to
Yeah.
tell you. Brendan's the guy.
Yeah. We hook up with him. You know, he's obviously a very integral a part of the Ably house. So
He's in LA today.
he's in LA right now, and
Not
so
around.
yeah. But yeah, D12, D19. It's about what you expect. They sound great. They make everything sound a lot more Ringo-y and Beatle-y. And I wouldn't use any other mics on a drum kit personally. I just love that sound for both of them.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
got everything you need.
It's true.
Well balanced. It's pretty much good to go
Yeah.
once you record it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So let's pop in the session. We'll show you what's going on here. I got everything kind of labeled. First of all, we got the drums, the bass. The bass, I played through the custom cabinet that's behind us right now.
The custom cab.
With an AC30 head.
Spin around here.
We kind of use what we have to get the sound. I mic'd it with the Warm Audio U47, and that's the only track I have of this bass. I thought that sounded the best. So anyways, we're about to reamp the. Let me play a little bit of this. This is unmixed. I don't think there's any plugins on the session, as you can see right now. This is it, just totally unmixed, as is. I might have pulled down the levels of the acoustics. I'll show you how I get the sessions going. Oh, I muted that. Remember that I'll always be in love with you. All right. So I'll show you how we start getting the sessions going. I like to organize things a certain way. So right now I'm going to create a drum bus. I like to mix all the tracks down to like 3 to 8 tracks so I can mix everything that way. So I'm going to tile this drums. Even though I have a single bass track over here, I'm still going to bust it out just so I can keep everything together over there. Bass. All right. This will be the, all 3 of these. Be this is the John guitar. As I write this letter, send my love to you. All right, and then G here. Later you'll see, depending on how things were recorded, I usually take the bass and drum bus and send it to another drum bus because a lot of times bass and drums were recorded in the similar track, so I have them hitting a compressor at the same time to create kind of a similar sound. I'll get more into that later. So right now, this is kind of the basic mix we have going on with P.S. I Love You. I'll probably mix the guitars down to one channel. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Very bad connection.
Very bad connection. Oh no. Can you hear us and see us out there, everybody?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, okay. So that's what that sounds like. We're going to reamp the guitar right now. We're going to show you exactly how we do that. Should we wait for a better connection here?
I'm turning my Wi-Fi off. Maybe you want to turn your Wi-Fi off as well?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll do that. And let me check my phone, make sure I'm not on Wi-Fi on the phone either. No, I'm on airplane mode.
Okay, cool.
No one try to text me right now. I also somehow use the same mixing techniques. Awesome work. Oh, hey, nice.
Great.
I like to think of things that way as drums. You know, like each thing, I get a mix, I'm putting it down. I don't want to have to deal with, especially when you're mixing drums that have like 8+ channels. I don't want to have to think about that constantly in the mix. I'll automate those if I need to. But okay, so we're gonna reamp this John guitar. We've got kind of a setting. So here's what we're doing. We're sending it out of the extra outputs in here, and then it's going into this kind of lunchbox dealio we have here. It's going into this Shadow Hills preamp thing on the steel setting. Gives it kind of that like old metallic / tubey sound. It's going into these EQs, then into this tape emulator, coming out of this radial output, going into the AC30. So this is the way we get a lot of sounds. We go in here, we get to EQ before hitting the amp and put these kind of good preamp effects on it. And then we can really shape the guitar sounds to sound as much like the record as we possibly can. And it comes out here, we're micing it, once again with the Warm Audio U47. Probably one of the best Microphones have ever heard.
At least for its price.
At least for its price, exactly. It's amazing. And then we're going back, just recording it back into Logic, and we've kind of got a good sound set up already. We'll tweak it more in Logic if we need to throughout the mix. So let's record that. Here's also a thing I like to do. We might have to go in the kitchen to be able to talk during this.
Yeah.
I like to, these songs are all recorded live in a room, especially Please Please Me. They set up as a live band, literally like this with the vocal mics and the drums behind them. There's a lot of bleed on every track, and that's part of the sound of the song. So when we reamp things, I like to pump a lot of drums and bass and other guitars or whatever through so it bleeds into the microphone, and that kind of helps give it a more realistic sound and glue the mix together more and is truer to what happened at the time. You can't ever totally replicate real, actual bleed of a live drum kit in a room, vocals going on, all that stuff. But we do that on a lot, and it does help glue the tracks together. So let me get that going right now. Make sure I have, I'll mute his.
Brendan's in LA, so he'd be on the stream if he were here. We'll try to get him on one of these. He'd love to.
And he's watching right now.
He's on here
Shout
watching.
out to Brendan, So.
Yeah, someone's trying to talk to him. Just in case he got off, I'll reply.
Okay. Let me listen, get these drums and bass sounds going here. I mainly want to do drums. A little bass. I'll crank this up.
All right. Get some volume.
Yeah, that sounds good. And we're going to record that. We're just going to record that right in. The input level is fine. The 47. So, we're going to press record.
All right.
When you do things analog ways like reamping and all that kind of stuff, you have to, you have to let it record in real time. That's the only drawback of it, but it also usually sounds better in the end. It's more authentic. So here we go. Oh, let's turn that click off.
No click.
Let me specify this real quick. We never recorded a click on these songs. We try to replicate the songs as much as possible. We don't just ever set like a BPM of the song, So here is the reamp for P.S. I Love You for the rhythm guitar.
Stand this way so we have some light on us.
That's true. So we're in the kitchen of the house now.
Yeah.
Family house.
The fifth Beatle wanted to know how we support ourselves financially.
Well, I'm a freelance Paul McCartney. If you need a Paul, you know who to call.
And I'm a freelance George.
That's right.
I don't think I can rhyme with that, but nice. What program do we use? Logic Pro.
We use Logic Pro. Pro X. Yeah. I've used Pro Tools in my life before as well, but I've mainly been Logic always.
There's good things about both of them. I like Pro Tools a lot.
Pro Tools is a little more. I'd say Logic. We both agree with this. It used to be better, and they've kind of blended it with GarageBand. They did the same thing in Final Cut. They turned it into iMovie. Logic used to be a little better in my opinion. And now it's dumbed down.
That's what they do with all these programs. They dumb them down.
Ever since Steve Jobs died.
Yeah. Steve Jobs is the man. Yep. So what else you guys want to know? We're here talking to you guys tonight. We're reamping right now the P.S. I Love You guitar part.
You get such amazing.
Oh, which one of us? We both have amazing hair.
We do.
I just grew it out. Hello, hey.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Do you know who? It's T1 2H3.
I don't. No, is that a YouTuber?
Hey Mexico, how's it going? I play Mexico City almost anyway. Oh, it's about to end.
The song's almost over. Back to the studio, hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully we didn't talk too loud over that.
It's fine if we did. You guys will hear us talking in the isolated tracks now.
That's right.
So let me
look out for that.
Think we can work with that?
I think we can work with that. It's a little punchy, but that's okay. We could probably.
There's a little bit one frequency that's bothering me, but we can probably pull that out. Okay.
That's a beautiful frequency.
We can work with that. It's a little bright.
We do know Malibu, and yes, we are also planning on recording all of the songs, as many as we would like to do.
Yes, as many.
As many as we can get to. Also solo songs, also whatever kind of music we like, we're ready to do it.
We are definitely ready and willing to do all that.
We just got 4 Malibu comments in a row.
Wow, 4 Malibu.
People love Malibu. Yeah,
Okay.
we know Malibu. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
We don't know him personally, but
Yeah, we've never talked to him. We don't know if he's a cool guy. We just assume he's a cool guy. We don't want to
Yeah,
assume
we've
bad
never
things
seen his
about
head.
people, So
we show our heads sometimes.
sometimes we're showing them right now. Damn
Not
it.
both of them, just
Yeah,
one of them.
Just one.
The top one.
I could probably actually bump the level up on that.
He has cool pants. Check out the pants, y'all.
Check out the pants.
He's got cool shoes, cool pants. He's dancing. He's got a cool vibe going. There you go.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All right. So let's hear this George guitar, the lead guitar.
Yep.
We just did the John. We got John sound. So let's see if that still translates to George, or I need to change it.
Oh wait, someone has been asking 5 times. Sorry about the comment went away now, but he wants to know about our amp settings. That was the
Our
gist
amp
of it.
setting. Okay. The amp settings right now. Can we pull it over here?
Yep. Here we
This
go.
is what
These
we
are the
got.
amp settings.
It's the amp settings. There's not too much control you have. Most of the EQ and stuff is coming from this right here. But
This is the EQ. This one right here.
this one right here, that's the preamp. There's a tape emulator that sounds great. Then a nice DI reamper here.
So once again, to start from the beginning, we record into this right here. This is a DI. That takes us to an XLR, which we run into here, and we could take that signal later and we can mess with it by running it into this. The back of this has an XLR on it, and it runs in, and then we could take it and run out of here. So this is going into the amp. So we're going through all these effects first, then we hit the amp how we want to hit it.
And let's show that's those settings.
And these are the amp settings.
So we're plugged into the normal channel. So this is the initial kind of preamp gain volume. There's no reverb. Tremolo is off now, or it was mostly off. So we have a lot of
This
tone
is
cut.
the important one in my opinion.
Yeah, the
a
tone.
lot of people turn that tone knob the other direction to get a lot of brightness.
Yeah.
You don't actually want to do that. You can get a lot of brightness just by being mic'd up and your microphones are bright.
Yeah, and Vox amps too are naturally insanely bright amps. And right now this song, it's not too bright of guitars. So we're cutting a lot of tone, and then I have the master volume turned almost all the way up, and just a little bit going in. It's not overdriving too much. It's just a pretty standard amp setting besides the tone cut being about 430 or 330.
Yeah.
And then, this mic, preamps, good guitars, good preamps, good amps. You're going to get good sounds every time, good mics. Like it's very simple. The Beatles, it's not like they were doing a lot of EQing on their amps or guitars. Oh, actually, I do want to talk about this because I have a friend, Graham Alexander, who many of you know. Me and him discussed this quite ad nauseum, that the Beatles understood there's kind of a frequency range where each one of their guitars fit in. George was the more bright one. Then John kind of found this low-mid frequency to fit in. His early 325 is very chunky and not very bright that much. I won't hold your hand. It's boom, boom, boom.
Oh, it's very low.
It's got some top end on it, but George's fits at the top, John fits here, and then Paul occupies probably 250 and below. And John's 250 to 1K, and then George is 700 to the top. And everything, you can hear all 3 guitars, they all fill up a good space. The big mistake everyone makes, they try to make their guitar sound bassy and trebly, and there'll be 2 guitars. It's big on both ends, and it just takes up too much room. Audio is all about finding the space for everything, and letting it poke through, not like everything sounding big. It'll sound like a mess,
Okay, so what about your bass? What about your bass tones then? What pickups do you use and what?
Okay, let me get the bass I used on this song.
I think that's more what he wanted to know, maybe.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm not sure if it's that same person.
This is the bass I use on this song. It's a cavern bass. It's a what's it called? A replication of the Revolution cavern bass. So I use different settings on this bass because I think it sounds better. Usually on the normal Hofner basses, you have that bass on setting. It's the solo setting and the bass on. The bass on setting makes it so only the front pickup is on with a treble cut, I think, and a bass boost. When you turn that switch off, it turns on both pickups. I usually, if I do that, I never like the sound of 2 pickups on basses. I will do it if I'm replicating it, but most time on the Hofner, I'm either here with this pickup on the bass boost, or I switch it here to get more of a clunky, ricky sound. And that's still just the front pickup, but just flat with no EQ. And I always turn off the back pickup. On this song, I tried having both pickups on, but this setting on this bass I think sounds better. I had the just the front pickup on with just flat EQ on it instead of the bass on the switch. For some reason, on this bass, when you do that, it gets very quiet. And I don't know, I'm not very familiar with the cavern basses, so I don't know if that's the way they all are, if Paul's was. I just got this to sound the best with that setting. Then when we recorded, I went also through this AC30, and then we plugged it into this custom bass cab over here, which is, you know, a lot more of a bass amp in that setting. Same thing though, when I went through this first, I plugged the bass DI into this. I got a really good EQ. I was boosting a lot of 100K on it. I cut almost everything above 700. I had like a low pass filter at 700. So it's almost no high end, a very big boost on 100K in that area. Had it going through the tape emulator, all that just kind of giving like a very rich full sound. And then I went out into the AC30 and that came out through that cab and we mic'd it up that way, and that's how we got the bass sound for this particular song.
That's right.
We do that a good amount for everything. We also get a DI from this too, from this sound. This is the thing, Paul's bass early on is there's almost no treble on it at all. It's almost difficult on traditional amp settings to get as little treble as he had on his bass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I discovered pretty early on, and it's the hardest part of Paul's bass tone early on.
Yeah.
Through probably Rubber Soul, he's that way. Same thing with the Rick. The Rick is very hard to get that dark, even with the tone rolled off on the Rickenbacker. Should show my basses at some point. We should go Guitar Exploring upstairs when we reamp this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So we're about to reamp George's thing. I want to listen to the guitar in this song to get
The second chord to the song is G major, G sharp diminished, and then it's D. So you're looking for a G sharp diminished.
Okay. That's good. Now, let's try to recreate that as much as possible. We got this DI here from the J160. Okay, that's a little quieter than the John one. I'll turn it up a bit.
Okay, this is the George part now we're reamping. We had another DI of that.
There we go. Okay.
Now this part is pretty roomy. It's got a lot of reverb on it. You can put that in the box later. Guys, we'll have Brendan show the drummer his drums off sometime.
We'll
Yeah, we won't be doing any drums today.
Okay, let's try that out. I think that sounds pretty good.
We'll do Ticket to Ride someday, but we need that Rickenbacker 12-string again for Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, which we don't have right now, unfortunately. You know, there's a lot of very expensive guitars to get for this thing, and we've we've done pretty good so far, I gotta say. But
I borrowed the Rickenbacker 12-string one time, and I didn't get to Ticket to Ride. I did maybe a few songs that I haven't released
yeah,
yet.
he got to as many videos as he could in the time. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. People lend us guitar sometimes for like a weekend, and we have to try to get in as many songs as we can. And we want to make sure we get them right for you. So if we rush through and don't get them, then we'll wait till later to release so they're more correct. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You just gotta be patient. Sorry about that. You know. All right. So let me check out the level for this. It's a good level. Okay. Let's start this and go upstairs, and we'll.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll run upstairs and turn
real
the
quick,
light on.
real quick. Yeah, go do that. Get your phone too, so you can shine light on things.
Okay.
We're gonna go upstairs where it's dark. That's where we store a lot of our guitars. Hey Bulldog, yes. We will be doing Hey Bulldog. I recorded the casino part for Hey Bulldog, but I haven't gotten to anything else, and Brendan hasn't got Hey Bulldog either.
Okay, sorry. Hold on.
Alright, we're upstairs. This is where we keep all of our guitars.
Hold on, I'm gonna go upstairs and start recording it.
Oh sure.
Yeah, that's right. I'll kill time up here. Okay.
Yeah, alright. Show some guitars. We got kind of a mess of stuff up here. He's gonna grab his light so we can see a little bit better. But we got the bass from the rooftop there. We got the Rick bass.
Oh wait, sorry. Let me start thinking.
Yeah. Hey, David McNally, welcome back. We saw you on Young's Vlogs the other day. Yeah, you got the SG up here. I don't see the SG. We need a light to see the rest of these. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Hello. Welcome. We're in the upstairs. We got very low ceilings up here.
Very low ceilings.
You got your phone light?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
Over here.
Yeah, shine that on some guitars.
See, so this is the newest thing I just got back. I just had this done, like the rock show Wings bass. I shaved the horns down, took all the finish off, but a thing that's gonna be coming on video soon. Don't worry. That's the bass. That's my contemporary Hofner with the black nylon tape on strings. We just use that for all the rooftop stuff.
Hey, Douglas Coleman's on.
Oh hell!
Hey,
Nice.
great chatting with you as well, Doug. Good to see you here. We're hoping to do that again sometime, maybe in a few months. It'd be great to hear you again.
In here, you can maybe pull them out if we want.
Yeah, we got some guitars in here.
This is my Hofner and my Sgt. Pepper Magic Mystery Tour 67 Rickenbacker.
We got 2 Ricks here.
2 Ricks, and here is my Epiphone Texan.
Texan.
In that case, it's just a personal guitar of mine. Nothing Beatle related.
No.
There's the Jim.
That's my Hanson, nothing Beatle related. I thought it looked
Beatle
kind of Gretchy at the time. I didn't have the money to buy a Gretsch.
Yeah.
There's the Rocky.
It's a cool guitar for sure.
Hey,
Oh,
could
we got
you
Rocky.
grab the Rocky? Or no, you leave it there. Just shine that light on it. Yeah, we've seen
Andrew
it
painted
before.
that himself. It looks great. It looks very great. One of the closest I've seen.
Cool.
The Dayglow paints. This is one of my personal
The
guitar I
Electro,
used to use
yeah.
with the ivories. It's got flat ones on it.
Lefty.
Lefty, yeah, very solid stuff.
That's a cool Rocky guitar, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. Show your Rebelli.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen it once before in the something video.
So this is the first bass I ever got when I was 10. It's a righty. I converted it to lefty. It's probably my favorite bass, though. It plays and sounds better than everything else I have, or as good, not better.
Yeah.
We got this.
The crappy J160.
J160.
And then we got an acoustic bass here.
Yeah, fretless too.
Fretless acoustic bass. Well, you'll see that in a video someday.
Yeah. And we also got the Natural Casino in that case right there too. It's hard to see.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the reamping's done. And this is a. Oh yeah, that's my.
We got more guitars in the closet.
That's my jazz bass in there. I got a lefty banjo and a lefty Gretchen there.
We got a lefty banjo. Yeah.
There are some drums here we should show.
Yeah, these are Brennan's drums.
Well, I'm forgetting. They're not Ludwig. What are they? Brendan, help us. What am I doing?
Brennan, what are these drums?
Are they of course the badge is gone.
It's not Premier.
It might be Premier. It is Premier.
Premier.
I'm pretty
Premier.
Sure it is.
I did it.
I'm sorry if that's wrong.
All right.
Yeah,
maybe.
but it's got the Ringo shells on it, and we've recorded a lot. You know, the first Please Please Me record is all Premier drums with a piccolo snare. So it's those shells with a Ringo finish on them. Fun stuff. Oh, I need to plug my Mac in if that's all right.
John Gray's, yeah, basically a Premier kit. John Gray. I didn't see the comment. It's kind of hard to. They go way fast.
I see they go way fast. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan. It's in the chat, guys. Thanks, Brendan.
Yeah.
Hooking us up.
Hooking us up.
All right, back to the mix. We got the John guitar reamped now.
Okay, we got the John guitar remix. So we can
Yeah.
actually start. John and George remixes. We can actually start mixing the song now. Turn off that amp. Let's get to it. Let's see what this sounds like. Hopefully it doesn't sound too awful and we can work with it, you know. Some bleed in the background. Oh.
Yeah, those are
That's
pretty loud. Yeah.
We can work with that. Until the day I do love. P.S. I love you. You. Okay. I'm trying to copy this over here. Kind of the same thing.
Some channel EQ.
Okay, so let's start with, that sounds pretty good already to me. That's the thing, if you get really good sounds at the
Hard to
source while you're miking things and playing them, there's a lot less work to do later on, you know. That is difficult to do, you know. We live in kind of this world where we think with the way we record in computers, it's like, oh, you do this and then you can fix it in the mix later. No, get it, you know, I'm doing a little bit of that with this, I'll admit, but like, it's always best to get the sound right, and then it just sounds less messed with and it just sounds more natural. Okay, so this is how I usually set up a session. I have the drums first. It's just from being raised in the 2000s and learning about audio stuff. You always put the kick first and stuff, and
Hey.
I don't believe in that anymore. I just am used to it. Actually, for this song, I was listening. There's not really any kick drum in it, and I think it sounds more accurate to the record when I just use the overhead mic. Most of Please Please Me was just all of Please Please Me was just an overhead and a kick mic. A Cole's ribbon as the overhead, and I think also, I forget what kind of ribbon on the bass drum too. We used
The D20.
the D20 on the kick, and then
Yeah.
what's the overhead? Is it D19 or is it 47? We use a 47, I think, right?
Yeah, 47.
Okay, we use the 47
All
for
the time.
for the overhead. I mean, it sounds great and good. We either
That's
use
the
that or
overhead.
D19 on everything. Yeah. So this is probably the only mic I'm going to use for the drums. I just kind of like the sound of it better without it. So here's the process I usually go through. I'm going to put this through.
What is that?
This is, let me get a better one.
I can't tell if they can see it or not because it's kind of fuzzy. At least, the words
Can
themselves.
we
yeah,
get the
I've
focus?
clicked and stuff.
crap.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going into the Waves plugins.
Yeah, I can get
This
a
is
little closer.
a Red 17 board emulator. This is emulating the board the Please Please Me board, which is also, by the way, the same. I don't know if it's the same exact board, but the same model of board as what Seven Nation Army has mixed on it from Toe Rag Studios, also in London. So this usually just gives it a color. You can do lots of fun stuff with this. You can distort it if you want, and it's distortion that's true to the board. I'm not gonna do that for this song because that's not what's happening. But for lots of original music or other mixes, I do that. I'll EQ a little bit on this, depending on what I need. I'm probably gonna gain that up a little bit. I like to get it kind of crunching through there a little bit, or just I'll do it. Okay. The next step is usually put something on here. It's all about trying to make it sound authentic to the thing. I'll probably let me go with a J there. Okay, so this is the Abbey Road Studer tape emulator. This thing is great. I use this on everything. You can do a lot of cool effects on this too, with the delays and everything and the flutters. On these recordings, I mainly use it just for tape emulation and some delay if there's a delay on anything. But I just kind of play around with what sounds the most like the record. Sometimes I put on the half speed to make it a little darker. I mess around with the tapes. These tapes tend to distort earlier than this one, I found. Try to get the levels also so it's nice and crunchy through there. That's distorting pretty early on in the mix. It's odd. It's not that loud. Okay, well, I'll go to out. Maybe I'll turn that up more. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Okay. I'll be coming home again. Okay, sounds good. I also put a compressor on this. I won't be hitting it hard. These Logic compressors have a great feature with the distortion. I usually put on soft. It gives it like a sheen. It just sounds like it gives it like the preamp sound of this. And this is a compressor that's an opto compressor, which is this.
Real quick, someone's asking where we get these plugins from,
Okay.
and they're trying to save money.
I see. Well, okay. A lot of the ones I've bought are from Waves. Here's a little quick tip. Every Waves plugin is worth $29. If you see it for more than that, it's cheaper somewhere else. It will go on sale soon. They're all worth $29. I don't ever pay more than $29 or $39 for a Waves plugin. I've bought all these so far. I'd say the essential ones for creating a Beatles thing are the Abbey Road chambers, the red boards, the ADT plugins, and maybe the TG12345. Those are great. These compressors come stock in Logic. They're wonderful. They're just the standard Logic compressors. Like I was saying, this one emulates an opto compressor, which is like an LA2A or like an Altec compressor that the Beatles had. You put that soft distortion on, it emulates kind of like the tube distortion while the sound's hitting the preamp. And that's adjusted by how hard the sound goes in and out and how much it's being made up. I usually set these attack and release settings pretty late. I listen to the song, but they usually back in the day it was just kind of nothing was as punchy as it is now. They just kind of let it tip when something was too loud. When there was a peak, it would just bring it down a little bit. So I just get this to get kind of more of a preampy don't want to say distorted sound, just say a thicker sound going on. Okay, so we got that. That sounds pretty good. I'll probably put an EQ at the end of it to fine tune later. All right, let's work on the bass. You can see I'm getting a little bit of a cold. Okay, here's the bass. Put that on 0. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to go through. I'm going to put a red 17.
Do you ever consider guitar pedals? Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this. So, have we?
That's a good question.
Have we used any guitar pedals?
I did, and I think weeps because I wanted to get some sustain. And while my guitar gently weeps, I used just a blues overdrive, and I was trying to get just the guitar to wail. He holds those notes out a while, and they sustain.
Yeah, it's Eric Clapton on an incredibly classic
guitar. You need
guitar.
something to boost your signal.
We usually shy away from guitar pedals. I think guitar pedals are really handy tools live on stage when you can't have effects and you can't change your amp settings. But they're always emulations of something that they're not. You know, there's nothing to me that sounds better than turning up your amp all the way and that having been your distortion. You know what I mean? Like a tube screamer to me, it sounds like a tube screamer. It doesn't sound like real amp distortion. It sounds like a tube. And all pedals sound like those pedals.
They all get thin, compressed, squished.
Yeah.
Your signal just sits in a different spot after you go through a pedal.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't have that
I'd almost rather
mixing sound.
Do effects in Logic and then send that to the amp, or vice versa. Unless, of course, there's a pedal that's on a recording and you're, you know, like whatever, like a wah-wah or something. It's if you're trying to get a wah-wah sound, use wah-wah, you know.
What about the Leslie Rotary, though?
Leslie Rotary.
Did that in the box.
We usually do that in the box. There's a very good plug-in here. Once again, I would rather have a Leslie speaker. There's nothing in the world that would sound
Daniel
better.
has one, and he said next time we do that, we should ask him. So next
What have
time,
you been doing? Yeah.
yeah, next time we're gonna use a real Leslie because Daniel just happens to have a Leslie Rotary at his house.
Okay, I've seen there's a Leslie pedal that I've heard sound pretty good, but once again, it just sounds like a guitar pedal to me. I personally think the emulator in here sounds a little bit better, cause well, Leslie's it's after the fact to me, like. It's hard to say. I don't know. If you have a Leslie pedal and you think it sounds good, go ahead and use it. We do it after the fact in the box on there's a Leslie speaker emulator in Logic that we use.
You have a little more control doing things later. If
you can, especially if you're trying to get it as exact as we are. You know, it's different. If you're recording with your original band and you get a sound you like, go with it. Record it live. You know, but. With us, we're trying to emulate something that is classic and people know very well. We want to have control of that later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oops. Back to the bass here. So I usually automatically boost the low end signal up a little bit just to... I'm going to turn down the high end just because, like I said, there's not very many treble. That's a pretty good level. I will also send this into the tape emulator here. Bottom that up. So this is kind of a way I tend to compress things without actually compressing them, is hitting the tape pretty hard. There's a compressed sound when you compress things, and this kind of just flattens things out how they were. You know, the tape, when they mix the song, I bet you the bass is hitting all the preamps decently hard, you know. It's a pop record. Okay, I like that sound. I'm going to go with that. I kind of follow the same path as the drums here. I'm going to put on an opto compressor, turn the soft distortion on. I'm going to compress it a little bit, very slowly. I want to have most of the compression coming from when I mix the bass and drums down together, so the compressor reacts to both of them. Home again to you, love. Okay, so now that we have those, I'm going to bust those out to a channel. Bass and drum. I'm going to put this bass and drums. Put an EQ on that for fine tuning later. Let me check that out. Sometimes the bass gets a little thundery. I like to kind of cut, especially these Please Please recordings, I kind of like to cut everything under 40 so it doesn't get too thundery there. Bass isn't that thundery. It's bassy. It's more like 100K bassy than like sub bassy.
It's starting to shake stuff in the room. It's not that crazy.
It's not that crazy. It's just low end. It's not sub low end, you know. Okay. So let me get a good bounce of the bass here. and the drums become. That sounds pretty good to me. It's a lot thicker. Let's compare and contrast to what we just heard. Now this is with all plugins off now. I don't know if it's a lot quieter, but also just isn't as full and rich. You don't hear those harmonics and the overtones of things. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to do the same path here. I'm going to put this to color it. I always turn the drive down because things naturally from the harmonics of these things get a little distorted, so I don't want to get it crazy distorted here. G37, wow. I'm going to put this on 0 and see where we're at, and then mix from there. So that's a little too loud. Let's go down 6. That's a good input level. I'll maybe bump that up a couple, so it's kind of... I always turn the wow and the flutter off, just to make sure there's not too much fluctuation. Okay, next step I'll put the compressor on. So this will be the compressor, kind of probably how they record it. They usually mixed, on Please Please Me, all the instruments are going to one track. And that has a compressor on it too. But I think when they're recording in, they had bass and drums on a channel, and they'd be hitting. That's just a common thing that would happen. They put bass and drums through the same compressor. So let's see, a very slow attack on this.
Someone's talking about the Fairchild.
Oh, hell yeah. So we got Fairchild plugin on this as well. And I usually use that on later stuff. I'm sure they used it early too. I gotta say, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up here. So this is our Fairchild compressor that we have. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of this plugin. It doesn't react the same way as a Fairchild do. I do usually use it, especially more in later songs. But it doesn't add the same harmonic distortion that some of the other compressors I have add. So I probably won't add that on this song, but I do add that usually on every drum track from the late era, for sure, from 65 and on, for sure. I just know I'm going to get a more open, full sound if I go this way right now. And I do have a system I kind of operate on. What?
Do we have anything replicating the Altex? Someone's asking about the Altex.
Yeah, this is what this is.
Yeah, okay.
This is a vintage opto compressor emulator, and Altex were an opto compressor as well. Have the soft distortion. I wish I had like an exact Altec replicator. We used to have an Altec.
Yeah.
It was very
Brennan's
finicky.
got one.
Brennan's got one. It's finicky, but it sounds great. I have a friend Graham who has 8 of them chained together. It's amazing. So here's the next step. I go to try and make it full sounding and old. Actually, I put this Abbey Road vinyl setting as the end of the chain. I turn all the noise and clicks off. I don't want that messy stuff. I turn the phase distortion off, turn the rate flutter down. And then I mess with these settings, and that's hitting hard. I like to hit hard, not that hard. Let me turn it down a little bit. That's a good, kind of compresses it a little. Maybe I'll turn that down, -2. I mess around with the lacquer print. Lacquer usually is a more high quality. This is a little less treble, a little lower quality.
Oh, Brennan says y'all should go pick up my Altec. We were talking about that earlier.
Oh, hell yeah.
We were like, that's just sitting there. We need to be using that. Yeah.
Yeah,
we would love to pick up that Altec.
Yeah, especially, I usually do these early songs. In most songs, I try to do a mono mix. It's just easier to make, there's something about the panning on those boards you can't replicate. Most of the Beatles' preferred mixes and recordings are all mono. So yeah, it'd be nice to compress finally through that Altec on the one channel.
That's right.
So I'm going to go with these settings right now. I like this. Okay, that's the bass and drums. We're going to get into, sometimes I have a bleed setting. I'm going to get into that in a bit. Let's move on to the John and G hair guitars here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Watch your right hand getting in the lens here. But your left hand.
My left hand, sorry.
Your left hand's good. Your right hand.
I'm going to put it right here.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh no, your right hand. But yeah, geez.
So this is the John acoustic. We recorded through the U47 yesterday. Just gonna EQ that to make it sound a little better. Okay, and then I'm gonna put another Red 17 plug in here. bump up that signal a little bit. Turn the drive down. Maybe turn a little bit of the high end down. Just one. You know, I heard someone told me once that, especially when you're getting to final mixing, really try to mix as low dB wise as possible when you're EQing. Like, when I do a final mix, a lot of times when I do an EQ, it's like 0.5 dB and minus 5 dB. It really does make a subtle difference. When you EQ too much, it has an EQ'd sound to it that's just not natural. Obviously, here I'm dipping out some pretty unpleasant frequencies, but I don't like to go into too crazy EQ. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed with color correction on the video stuff, as I EQ a color, it destroys another spectrum of the color.
Huh.
And I think it's a similar thing with the audio.
Yes.
You just want to keep things as natural as possible. How does the compressor mix all the tracks together?
How does the compressor?
Mix all the tracks together.
I'm not sure.
Well, they just all sit in together. There's a thing called sidechaining compression. It's a little different though. Look up sidechain compression. You'll learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Do some reading.
And at the end of this, there's a master track that we're gonna put everything in, and I'm gonna compress and EQ and put emulators on that master track as well to get it sounding like a glued.
Yeah, I think
final
having
mix.
all the instruments going through one thing at the end.
Yes.
That glues things together.
Okay. Remember
that always.
Let me see. There's a little bit. So I try to listen to this. I don't like too much low end in other tracks. It's not needed. There's a lot of, as you can see here, a lot of sub 20 frequencies going on in this amp thing. I usually turn down to about there. It just makes for a cleaner mix when only certain channels the low end gets through on stuff. I like that better already. I tell you what. Even this, let me turn off the sub 50s there.
Nice.
Still want some bottom end on the guitar, some 100 K in there, but okay. And then I'll probably do the same thing as the G Hero guitars here. Lead 47, lead DI. Oh yeah, lead amp right there. Okay, let me turn that off. Lead amp. Oh yeah, that right. This guitar doesn't start till a bit. I'm gonna move this so we can just start right there. Same thing. I hear a low rumble, some sort of electronic ground noise. I'm just gonna cut all that noise out. Okay, it's a little thin. I want a little more body there. Okay. I'm just gonna blend in a little bit of the 47 there. Okay. Here we go. I love you. Bump this up a little bit. Take some of that high end off. You don't need. And the low. That's sounding pretty good to me. Yeah, some EQ for fine tuning, if we need it. Okay, now I'm gonna bust these out to a guitar mixdown track. Now I can balance the George and John guitar. Once again, I start every channel with this Red 17 thing just to emulate the preamps and the sounds and all that kind of jazz. That's good. Okay, and then probably hit a compressor next. Feels that a very compressed guitar sounds. I'm not sure how much of it sometimes is hitting a compressor or the Vox amps themselves at the time with this really, really compressed natural tone that they just don't have anymore. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. They don't have it anymore. They're cool sounds, but if you ever played through like a 64 AC30, you'll see it's night and day. With wow, that sounds like the 60s. I'm going to put another tape emulator on that channel too. Everything just sounds very clean and digitally, and I find the biggest thing is just kind of making it sound a little more authentic all the time. Okay, that's hitting pretty hard. Let me turn that down. I'm also going to put a Abbey Road vinyl thing on this as well. Do the same thing. Whoops. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So, let's hear what the bass and drums sound like together with that. Alright, so I'm going to start doing some fine tuning. The drums sound a little honky to me in this kind of... And that I usually find that when you record in smaller rooms, like we usually do, there's kind of this frequency that always resonates right here, and I always have to dip that down. Right around 200 to 250. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip that down. I can tell there's like a... Now I'll show you how I usually go find...
Devin's home.
Oh, hey. How I find those frequencies.
Hello, we're live.
Hey, let's show it, you know.
What's up?
She comes bearing boots.
Boots.
Yeah.
We got boots.
Yeah.
Devin's home. Devin's in the house. That's me.
House.
There she is.
Are you live
Oh,
on
yeah.
Ably House?
We're live on Ably
Yeah,
House.
live on Ably House.
Hello,
We're doing a
Ably
mix
House
for
fans.
P.S. I Love You. Devin was just shopping.
Yeah, I just went to Wisconsin just to pick up some clothes with some friend.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Synchronous, hell yes.
Turn some of the high end off the drums there. I find in Beatle EQs, there's kind of a pretty steep drop off after 12K. That sounds a little better. I like that a little better. Okay. I'm gonna also kind of turn some of that brittleness of this guitar down. Yeah, right. All that nasty sound in there. All that nasty sound, you know. Don't want too much high end there or too much low end either. Until the day I do love. Okay. So that's sounding pretty good. The next step I like to do is I like to create a channel here where I create a fake Studio 2. I do this by, there's an Abbey Road Chambers plugin I have. So I'll just do mono to make sure I couple these now. Okay. So this is replicating the echo chamber in Abbey Road. I have a preset saved in here already for Studio 2. That's what I call it. I just try to mimic the Studio 2 room. That requires, there's the old Altec speaker they used to use in this setting. I usually end up, playing with it a little bit more to get a good sound. So let's go to that channel. And I'm going to start sending instruments to that setting to get a room sound. So that's a little too long, a little too bright for me personally. Turn down this. A little too full. Okay, sounds good.
Man with Expression says to you, Devin, thanks for being a first subscriber.
Huh.
Aw.
Aw, great. And why don't we sing in songs? Would we like to explain that real quick?
Yeah, so we are doing some more vocals. We did some vocals for P.S. I Love You that we're not going to do in this mix right now. But, it's just so... what's the phrase you say? It just ruins the illusion. To
The
me.
illusion. That's what it is.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten some very good sounding tracks, and the second, no matter how good we sing over it, it's just so obvious that it's not John, Paul, and George singing on the song. Where some of these backing tracks sound very close and can fool some ears. So I want to keep the illusion going. We'll do some vocal videos though. We're gonna start doing that.
And also, these videos are for learning, and you don't really learn a whole lot from watching someone sing.
Yeah, you know the lyrics and the melody.
I mean,
you know.
the vocal harmony guy, he's got...
Yeah, there's the Italian guy who does the vocal harmony. He's got that locked
got that
down.
covered.
Yeah, you know. So we don't want to jump on his toes. Put a little of the bass and that bleed.
How many instruments do you guys play? I don't really ever say that I learned to play any instrument. I just say that I play music, and it all kind of blends together. If you can play a rhythm on a guitar, you can kind of play a rhythm on a drum too. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I play all the instruments, and I also play none of them.
Okay. Yeah, all in none. There's been nights where I've played instruments I've never played before, and then never played again after that. You know, I picked up a banjo for a session we did for Ken Burns one night, and I did a bunch of banjo songs. I've never touched the banjo since, and there's no way I could play them ever again. I can't remember what I did. Okay.
And Random GG, yes, that's the Italian guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Someone
Shout
said out his name, and
Shout
I still
out.
don't really want to even try to say it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but he's
great.
He's got a real good ear. There's some crazy harmonies. The thing I love that he does the most is that playback writer for four guys. He really figured out an amazing way to do playback writer for people. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the next step I do in this room. I put the Abbey Road vinyl setting on the room setting because sometimes it sounds a little bright and digitally. This kind of curbs that, makes it a little more lo-fi and natural sounding. Especially if you crank them inputs right there. It's already sounding better to me. Bing Crosby shows something else. P.S. I love you.
Hey, Rockelman for life. Someone knows Rockelman.
Hell yeah.
Parasites, thanks. How do you EQ the bass? Do you guys use any pedals for the bass?
No. We no pedals. We can review this again. So usually the bass, I have a setting on the bass, and then we go through. If you want to show this over here again, Andy.
Yeah.
Go through this preamp into this EQ. I usually cut for anything pre-66 or pre-67. I cut almost all high end up to 700. Then boost about 100 a lot, and then we go into either a Vox amp or a Fender amp into a bass cabinet. We mic it with this, and is the Wolf mic anywhere around? We have a kick drum mic for the low frequencies, and also sometimes an MT5. We started doing that for the White Album songs because I read that they had that. They had two condensers on the bass amp, one picking up the low, the other picking up kind of the high clicky stuff, and we mix them together. And then we also have a DI too, so we can reamp and mix it in if it sounds better. But I usually don't like the DI too much. Actually, on the latest videos on Get Back and Don't Let Me Down, Paul's bass was all DI on the rooftop, so I only use the DI signal, which I very rarely do. But we did it, damn it. Okay. So, see how this is the room sounds. Probably turn down the drums a little bit there.
And Chris Platt, I'd say I uploaded it about 15 times before I got it working.
Is too much John acoustic from the 47 in there?
Yeah, the John acoustic should be smoother, more background.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe take some top off it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that almost sounds better.
That's what I mean. I think the top just comes from it being an acoustic mic, but
yeah.
And that's a little. I'll do that. Maybe filter in some of the.
Sure.
Like it's bleeding in the mic,
Yeah. That sounds better to me.
Sounds better. I can still from here get rid of some of those ugly frequencies.
Just taking a little bit of that high end out of the guitar.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That sounds good. So now let's start the final phase of everything. This is where everything glues together. In the stereo out setting, I'll put one of these babies back on. See how we're hitting it? I'll turn the gain down on that a little bit. So it's kind of floating around 0 to -4 there. The next thing I do is, what is the next thing I do? I put on I'll put on a compressor to kind of glue the whole mix together. I play, usually it's pretty slow attack and release settings, but I'll play with the song to make it sound like the most accurate thing. And it's not compressing very much. It's just grabbing the peaks of the song. Now we're gonna have the vinyl. Oh wait, no. Let me put on. I was premature. I'll put on another tape emulator setting for the final tape. Okay, making sure that's. I don't want that riding pretty hot in there. Flatten everything out. Play with the bias to see what sounds. Sometimes the bias makes it pop out a little more. Sometimes that's not necessary. It's a little hard there. I'm going to back it off on that hit. Oh yeah, let me turn down to 7 there. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to put on the Abbey Road vinyl.
Do we ever use the TAC instead of the J37 for saturation?
The TAC. Oh, for like the real TAC. Yes.
Maybe, yes.
Yes. No. A lot of mixes we often, I usually will put on this a little bit to get more flat out. But yeah, a lot of mixes we've done this, and we'll probably do that after this is done.
That's
yeah.
a TAC over
That's
there,
a TAC,
guys.
the 2-track. It does make everything sound better, and it's more natural. We use tape and analog stuff as much as we can.
We sometimes skip it, though.
We do sometimes skip it. It depends on if it degrades the sound too much, and we had a better sound beforehand. Then it's whatever is going to make the song sound better.
But yes, we do use it to answer your question.
Yes. Okay. So we're getting pretty close on this. Let me see how we're hitting this. The day I do love. That's a pretty good setting. This is the final step that glues everything together. Ever since I've gotten this plug-in, it's really changed. Everything sounds this Isotope Ozone 8. Oh my God. Let me tell you what. This makes everything just sing at the end of a mix. It takes all the mixes, glues them all together. This is the standard settings I'll go through on this, especially for an early song. This is a multi-band compressor that, especially for the early stuff, I tend to make sure if there's the low frequency popping out too much, maybe I'll have it grab it, but not very much. I don't want it to sound too modern in that sense. So let me go through. I have this at first. What?
Latchlin, what was your question? We're not ignoring anyone, or we didn't block anyone. We're all good.
We're all
but
good.
We're just trying to keep it fast-paced here. I don't want to stop Neil's flow. He's explaining stuff, so I'm letting him go.
Thank you, Andrew.
Of course.
Next, I have an exciter. So this exciter emulates analog things distorting. So this is the triode setting, which is like a tube board, and I go through each frequency range, and I always think it just makes the whole song sound more exciting. See, you can have it really distort. I usually don't turn it that much, but a little bit. Turn that down.
I use a star pick personally. This is what I use right here.
I usually use, I don't have them with me, the green Dunlop.
The green Dunlops. You guys know the ones with the alligators.
Yeah, the turtles and the alligators.
Do you know what the Beatles used? Do you want to talk about those picks real quick? We
So
want to keep it quick.
Keep it quick. So I don't know too much about this, but there are these weird plectrums that they had that were like square with these triangle tips, and I think you would like cut them off. They come in these plastic strips and you cut them off, but they don't look like traditional picks. My guess is they'd be medium to heavy, probably emphasis on the medium. I found some before. I think Pyramid makes some. Let me. I'll add the Wi-Fi off.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
Look up those picks, maybe, guys. We're gonna get back to the mix.
Yeah. Exciter. Okay. This is what I've done. I've done this multi-band EQ. It's not really touching anything at all. I did this exciter. I did this. This is using my traditional kind of curve for the exciter. Then there's a vintage limiter. I put that on pretty close. It's pretty loud. It compresses a lot, so I don't have it usually going past the threshold. And I'm going to turn this down.
Burt Weedham plectrums. Brendan looked it up. Burt Weedham.
Thank you, Brendan. Shout out to Brendan. And
Shout out Brendan in the chat.
Yeah. Shout out to the other Ably House member who's not here right now, but he is saving us with the information in the chat. So, okay. I'm going to do a little EQ action on this. It's a little thundery down there. I'll take some of that off. Making sure that bass is still peaking around that 100K area. I'll go to this band. I usually cut right about 12K off. Like I said, traditionally, when I analyze most Beatle recordings, there's a big drop off at 12K. There's still some harshness right there, so I'm gonna add some warmth there.
Nice.
I'm gonna add another thing down here.
So this is final mix, guys. This is everything together. Right.
Yeah. A little bump down there. Okay. As I said, I'm very gradual with the EQs. I don't want to chop off too much here. Turn that down. Okay. Then there's a maximizer that I use here. And turn on the transient emphasis. Share independence. I tend to usually turn down that ceiling a little. Oh yeah, okay, it's up, down. Maybe a little more drums. Let's bass. Hear that room sound? I'm gonna EQ that a little bit. That's a little annoying sounding. It's just about blending things, taking the harsh frequencies out, not having too much woofiness to a mix. We're almost done here. I'm gonna maybe fine tune some of the guitars here, show some annoying frequencies I hear in there. Yeah.
There's one.
There's one.
That's how you find a frequency to take it out, guys.
Yeah, you just boost on one, you go through the spectrum until you hear something that's really horrifying and annoying in the range that you heard it. I'm probably gonna take some more high end off of that too.
I love the horrifying word choice. Horrifying frequencies.
I'm gonna turn this compressor up a little bit. The guitars. I might turn this compressor up a little bit in the mix too. Just compressing like 1 to 2 dBs for the final mix. That might be a little too much. Like, there's good. Making sure these levels are good. Go to the ozone. Okay, freeze limiter is good. Maximizer. I don't like to maximize it too much and make it too sound so squash. Just want to bring it out. Okay, so let's take a listen now. That's P.S. I Love You. Let's try it from the beginning and hear how it sounds. And you guys were there for it. You know, you guys were a part of it.
We did this together, guys.
You and I were part of it. Okay, that's King Washington reference for all you guys out there. Tyson Kelly, King Washington reference.
Tyson Kelly.
All right,
Shout out.
folks, listen up. Tyson, shout out to Tyson Kelly out there. Okay. You know, so here we go. This is P.S. I Love You. I'm gonna tweak while we do this. The guitars.
He's not done yet, guys.
Yeah, guys. I'm gonna clean up those guitars. Is it the John one that's bothering me? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah. More.
Sure. And a little wider too.
'Cause that smooths it out, too.
Yeah, it does. That G hair guitar comes through a little better.
Yeah. A little more room for the G hair. George's part,
Sorry. Yeah.
I used the J160. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. Let's turn down the.
I think a lot of this this album, Please Please Me, is actually two J160s. So I use the J160 for the George part on this one as well. So right here, that guitar. What's the difference between the Gibson and the Epiphone? What's the difference between the Gibson and the Epiphone?
The Gibson, of the J160s?
For the J160s.
There's a lot. So there's a bracing in the guitar. These old J160s were essentially made to be electric guitars. They had this P90 pickup here, and they had this ladder bracing across the front that deadens the sound of the wood. Most acoustic guitars have the X bracing that makes the wood vibrate and is very resonant. It's a very thin, dead sound, so it wouldn't feed back as much through the amp. Almost all new J160s, and especially the Epiphone ones, have just a traditional X bracing, so they're just a nice sounding acoustic guitar. The next biggest thing you have is this bridge. It's got a ceramic nut on it, or a ceramic, I can't think of the word right now. That also deadens the sound and makes it this really kind of thin, janky sound. The new J160s just have nice traditional acoustic bridges. They're just meant to be nice acoustic guitars that look like this and have a P90 and you can plug it into an amp. They don't sound anything like this. They're a nice guitar though. They play well. They sound really good. They just don't sound anything like, Now it's just a really, really thin sound. I'm trying to think of what Beatles song I can play in here. I'm just playing random chords, demonstrate. But
That's fine. You just play Please Please Me.
Sure.
Yeah. There he goes, guys. Upside down. You can play reverse, guys. That's it. Come on, 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 please, please me, won't ya? I got these, I got these. Beautiful, Neil.
I skipped the bridge, sorry.
Yeah. Just a little demonstration.
Or, what's a good acoustic song? Hard Day's Night 2. That's hard to play upside down.
That's a G chord?
And then I can't put that's hard to play upside down. Yeah, F9,
Yeah.
In a hard day's night. Or
Oh yeah, he's got the 9 in there.
It's just I've never heard an acoustic guitar sound this thin. John played right at the bridge to UCL's pick
Right
marks
there,
are
yeah.
like right there. It's like
Get that bridging sound. It's brighter.
Yeah. That's the important part with Beatles too. You gotta look where John was playing. He's always plucking around there. There's marks on the guitar, so he's like constantly like digging into the strings and kind of really bring out the thinness of this guitar sound. But yeah, that's the biggest difference. And the other ones is it's a very dead sounding top on purpose with a dead sounding bridge nut.
Any other 60s bands use the J160? I mean, people copied them, obviously, throughout the 70s,
Yeah.
but in the 60s?
Not famously. I think a lot of guitars had more of the sound back in the day. Like Paul McCartney's Epiphone Texan had a similar bridge. It had like a ceramic tile thing that went across here. It probably had a more deader sound than any of the new Texans do. Once again, the new Texans just sound like nice acoustic guitars. Nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't sound like the original thing because they're probably nicer sounding instruments than the day.
Maybe the Ably brothers, they had a jumbo. They had a J200 maybe?
J200. I think those have the X bracing in them. I think those are just traditional acoustics. They're meant to resonate and ring out. Maybe they had a J160. I don't know. Beatles picked these really rare one-off guitars. There's footage. Well, they definitely use these on records as electrics because there's footage where John and George are playing them at shows. There's a show where George is playing the J160 on stage. You know.
It's just not often you see it. I know Lennon gave Bob Dylan one, so he might have played one. Could be. I think George gave George.
He gave him the J.
George gave him the J
200.
It's also 200. I don't know. They're different names. We don't know the
Here
exact.
Comes the Sun one with the adjustable bridge.
Yeah, the one with the decals on it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe get back to P.S. I Love You.
P.S. I
We're
Love
pretty
You.
much done with it, guys.
Pretty much done. If you guys want to ask any more questions about it, but that's it. That's the process. That's pretty much the standard thing we do with it. That's usually how the final mix looks right there. And we're going to bounce it and upload it very soon. Bounce these ISOs, get them to you. I'll do a little sample of the ISOs. Here's the drums. Whenever it decides to start here.
Yeah, we'll branch out and do some other kind of bands, but mostly we like the Beatles the best. We'll just kind of taste here and there with other bands. We've done AC/DC just...
Right. We do, at least for me, audio-wise, I know the most about how the Beatles recorded and what they used. I just know all that stuff. I don't know. There's not as much documentation, and I don't know as much about some other bands. So in terms of trying to precisely copy everything is a little bit more of a shot in the dark. But yeah, I definitely like to get in some Wings, some solo material.
Yeah.
I got the Wings bass upstairs. Want to get that going on some stuff. We're going to try to get to everything we love.
I got a Nord right here. I already used the Nord. We use the DI, and then we'll reamp it and stuff and get the best sound we can out of it. The guy who let us borrow this J160, we do some solo John Lennon stuff with him too. I'm in a band called Dear John.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, we'd like to branch out.
Yeah. Hopefully getting a Wings thing started soon as well. That'd be fun.
Yeah, this is a Nord that I put some brown. I'm in a CCR band, guys, and yeah, you can see the red shining through there. So this is a Nord that I just put some contact paper on over because I wanted it to look a little bit more vintagey, and the bright red on stage, not really my favorite look for a CCR band.
Not at all. It's disgusting. In fact, I think. You know,
Yeah, I gotta.
I'll be disgusted.
Yeah, gotta have some good stage looks, guys.
Yeah, some good stage looks. You know.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything?
Yeah, what else you guys want to know? We're probably gonna sign off here pretty quick. We're done with the Please Please Me mix, I think. Any issues with copyright on the Mellotron sounds? I don't think so. I don't think there's any issues with the copyright of the Mellotron sounds. I think they give you those sounds and they're good to go.
Oh yeah.
A sanded Rick. Do you have a sanded Rick?
Right here.
This is it. You just asked right when you went to go grab it. Good timing. Ask and you shall receive. Thank you, Devin. Just got the one of those phrases.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Beatles guitar bass to use from both of you? Mine is the Country Gentleman. I fell in love with guitar again when I first got that Country Gentleman.
Depends on the thing. Usually, mine's probably one of the Rick basses. You know, one of the Rick basses.
Yeah, he's playing that a lot.
They just sound, great.
Any more original material coming soon?
Oh, hell yeah.
I think so, yeah. We've got some stuff ready, but
Yeah.
we'll get it out soon, guys.
We'll get that soon,
We'll work on it tomorrow. Any band advice? What's your band advice?
Be honest with yourselves. Most bands aren't. and
Yeah, be honest, guys.
Just don't get bogged down. Do something cool. Do something fresh. Play as much as you can. Play and practice as much as you can live. It's hard to do nowadays. There's not like residencies. There's not things that you can do as much anymore. But just accept any shows you can and try to make the best of every show.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter if there's two people there. There's some bands I know that they're better when two people are there because they're trying harder. Most bands have this concept where the audience energy dictates how good the show is. And, I mean, that's always going to help. But that's the reason you're on stage.
You make the audience energy.
You make the audience energy.
Honestly, look at the Blackfoot Gypsies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've noticed with bands nowadays and the way music is, it's a shame, but you're supposed to be the entertainment. And I feel like most of the time it's the audience is entertaining you. You begged your friends to come to the show, all this stuff. It's your job to entertain people. It's not their job to make you feel good about playing a show.
Exactly. So how long have you been playing bass?
Since I was 10. So do the math if you know my age. No, that's about 19 years. About 19 years.
About 19 years?
Almost, like May of 2000 is when I started playing bass.
I've been playing since I was 13 years old. I first picked up a guitar in a music class. You know, one of those things where everyone's playing the G and C chord, and maybe Jingle Bells, stuff like that. My teacher sat me down after class and she said, like, you got something special, you should keep pursuing this. And it was one of those things that you remember, inspires you to keep practicing, and you kind of need that sometimes, someone to motivate you. My Sweet Lord, yes, we'll get to My Sweet Lord
hell yeah,
sometimes.
we're gonna do My Sweet Lord, for sure. Unless the earth,
What are you playing right now? I know what you're playing.
Oh, I'm playing Let Me Roll It right now.
Let Me Roll It.
Give me something,
I understand.
That's a great song. Cool bass line.
Yeah, we'll get to Let Me Roll It sometime.
Well,
Tomorrow Never
definitely.
Knows.
Tomorrow Never Knows. We'll do Tomorrow Never Knows. We're gonna do it all, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna do it
we
all.
got the tape loops to Tomorrow Never Knows. We'll see what we go with using their tape loops versus ours. We'll probably recreate everything that we can on our own.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Stairway.
Can
No,
we?
Stairway.
Can you play
Deny.
Stairway? Yeah, I actually really do want to do Stairway
We'll do
myself. I'm a big fan of
We'll
that
get the
song.
Stairway. That'll be a good video, fun video to do.
You really got a hold on me? Yes. If Neil wants to record that one, we could probably get that up pretty soon, actually.
We'll try to get that up very soon, yeah. Everything's almost done besides the bass.
We got acoustic and bass left on that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
She's a Woman. Yeah, we could do that one.
We'll get to She's a Woman.
Good Night Tonight.
Don't say it. Don't say it. You say anything. Don't say goodnight tonight. Yeah, that one. Oh.
What do you think of other Beatle cover channels?
I know this. There's this one guy who's Japanese who does bass covers, and he does an amazing job with the accuracy and the tone. I'm always really, really impressed with how accurate he gets in the tones of his bass and the correct notes in the song. You know.
Yeah, I
forget
think
what his name is, but you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good guys out there, but I don't think anyone's ever really gone through all of the stuff and taken the detail that we have. So that's why we're doing it, is because we did feel like there's a little lack of accuracy out there. One After 909 rooftop version. Yes.
Very soon.
Dreadget, I think you're the only one who's seen that. I'm going to be re-recording it at this point. We got some better miking techniques now. We're almost done with that one, though. The Billy Preston part is going to be a little bit of a push, but we'll get to it. Happiness is a Warm Gun. We've done that one. Any covers with vocals? Yeah, we were talking about that.
I did a vocal for P.S. I Love You. We'll probably release one with that. We just did vocals for a couple songs the other day. So we'll pepper in vocals with some songs.
Yeah, we got Young Hines on some vocals.
Yeah, I got Young Hines in there. So that'll be fun. You know, I don't do too many vocals, but it's fun to do every now and then.
Yeah, the vocals just give us an extra step. We already have a lot of steps in this process. It's just another
like
step.
I said, you know how to sing.
You guys know how to sing.
Yeah.
You use your voice, but some of these you don't know the inversions, and it's nice to see on the instruments. And the instruments, they need their time to shine. Look at this guy play. That's great.
Oh, me.
A lot of times people just hear the words and the vocals, and they miss out on all this great finger action. Pepper in the vocals, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's good to have the songs back to back with vocals and without.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, they said goodnight. And then I can't get the bass line out of my head. It's such a great bass line.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's what you're playing.
I
yeah.
love that song. That's a great Wayne song, you know.
Revolution number 9. Yeah, I don't know if we'll do that one, actually.
I've done that at a show before. I've done that 4 or 5 times at a show. And
Tell us about that.
It went
that sounds like a good
gangbusters.
experience.
So I was playing a White Album show with Graham Alexander at the Vault, and I did about 5 or 6 of those. Those were really fun shows. 2 drummers, 2 bassists. We try to get everything with it. And we did Revolution 9. And the way we did it is we wrote out a script that was time-coded, and then all of us had lines, and then we would press the timers or the stopwatches on our phone and read the lines as they went by.
That's pretty cool.
Graham got some of the samples. He learned some of the piano parts. It was really cool. Audiences,
They've never seen anything like
they've
that
never seen
before.
like it.
Yeah.
In fact, we went for it. They were impressed, and just the dynamics of the song. You know, when you're going right, all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
People
It's
don't know how to
Like,
react.
what's going on?
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. What? Are we dead?
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was responding to you. Neil inspired me to play bass, says David
Oh,
McNally.
hell yeah.
Great.
Bass is fun, man. It's the best. Keep going.
Can you guys put a link to some of the mics, etc., that you use? Please and thanks, says Music Stuff.
Well, it's tough. You're going to have to search. A lot of the mics we use are...
Not totally accurate.
Yeah, I mean, not totally accurate. This is probably the most modern thing we use. The Warm Audio makes it a U47 clone, and so it's the WA-U47. Most of the other mics we have are just vintage mics you're going to have to find on the interwebs.
What's that book called? It's the Red Recording Book?
It's
That's what you want to reference, not
I know,
really us.
It's just recording the Beatles, isn't it?
Recording the Beatles, yeah, the Red Book recording the Beatles.
Yeah, they have every mic that was available to them in Studio 2, and they talk about the mics they regularly use. The most common setup for everything usually is a D19 as the overhead, AKG D19. They use those on the toms most of the times too, and an undersnare mic. They use the D12 or the D20, whatever it is, on the kick drum, also AKG. Those are both dynamic mics. They used usually Neumann U87s on the amps most of the time.
We don't have any of those. We don't have anything like it even.
And Warm Audio also makes a discount version of those that's very good too.
Yeah, we'll be getting one.
We'll be getting some soon. Towards the end, they use those on drum overheads too, and some of the tom mics. Bass, I forget what they usually use for the bass mics. I know they use a C12 during 68 White Album times. Yeah, and then usually on all vocals is this mic is emulating is the Neumann U47 tube condenser microphone. One of the most sought after microphones. In recording, it's just got so much warmth and clarity, and it just sounds good. That's the thing when you record with good mics and good preamps, you don't have to do much to it later. It just sounds good, you know.
Right.
Good instruments with good players.
They want to know if I've done Taxman. I did Taxman myself. I was gonna say I'd like to get Neil on Taxman with the Rickenbacker.
Yeah, but Andrew did a good job. He played Hofner upside down and did a very accurate job with it. So you know, but I think we can get a better sounding recording out of it nowadays.
I don't know if I did any plugins. Neil's really inspired me to do plugins. I actually was just recording the songs dry and just letting them go in that way. Oh, thanks, Devin. Yeah, there it is. So he's capable of doing it. He could just go hit record.
I need to learn that.
Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry.
Please do Hamburger Early songs. There's a lot of great Hamburger Early stuff.
There is some.
We want to get to we need a little bit more viewership, so we're gonna stick with the Hey Judes and the hit songs, you know.
Yeah. You guys are gonna have to be patient. We have to be patient with us. We do want to get to everything as quickly as possible, but
there's a lot of stuff.
We all kind of live in different places, and there's just logistically we can't always record and all that stuff. So
we have to go in kind of the same order too.
We do.
Hippie shake, yeah, we'd love to do that, but I don't know how many people are gonna click on it necessarily. Yeah. That's all right though.
That'd be fun.
I did Lonesome Tears in My Eyes just because it was a song that I felt like needed to be out there.
Yeah.
I didn't see any other covers of it.
Oh, baby, blues and sorrow.
Love you tomorrow. Treat you just fine.
Paul played Fender Pete, some songs. He played a jazz bass on the White Album songs. I have a jazz bass upstairs. It doesn't sound very good. It's got the mutes on it though. Fender basses used to come with the pickup covers and the mute stock, some mutes in there. So yeah, a lot of White Album songs are jazz bass. I try to emulate that on the Rick by putting the middle pickup and mutes on as well. But I got a jazz bass upstairs. The neck is wrong and it doesn't sound. It just is a terrible sounding bass. But jazz basses sound good. Just that jazz bass was cheap and it doesn't. I tried to get a Paul Speck jazz bass once, but it got lost in translation, unfortunately. There we go. Are you guys coming to the Crest Theater at the Fab Four in March? I don't know, David. I'm on a couple Fab Four shows in February, March. I don't know where they are yet though. So check back with me in a few weeks with that.
Yeah, the Decca tapes are one of my favorites. I think that's like some people say there's a Rubber Soul, there's a Revolver, there's albums that kind of go together. To me, Decca tapes goes along with Please Please Me really well.
I see.
I feel like they're both like the Beatles, how they sounded in the cavern.
Rock and roll music, we'll get there. We're gonna do them all.
Yeah, rock and roll music.
That's the answer. We're gonna do them all at some point, you know.
Haircuts, probably not. The hair's just gonna keep growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Nobody told me
that we did.
Yeah, we do that with Dear John. There might be a video of us on the line doing that. I'm not sure.
This shirt just makes it more fab. Hell yeah, thank you. That's one for Andrew. Do you use or have a Fender 6? Yeah, Brendan owns a Fender 6, and we use that on some of the videos. We do. And we'll be using that in more videos too, for sure.
We are going to do the medley. We're thinking just do all of side 2 as one video.
Yes. That'll be down the line though.
Right.
Abbey Road is like one of the best sounding albums ever. We want to know what we're doing when we tackle that.
We're gonna have some people help us out with that one. We're gonna get it totally accurate. Yeah,
a Tennessean?
I don't own a Tennessean. I think someone asked if we played one. I have never even played a Tennessean, honestly.
I played a Tennessean.
He's played probably lefty.
They're in stores a lot. Yeah. How does John change keys with the cable on?
I actually don't know how he does that. Maybe he has.
I think he just goes to bar chords.
That's what I do.
I don't even know if John's playing anything that song.
They're hard chords though. They make most sense with a capo because you're doing that E7 chord.
They would.
So it's like you're doing an F. You'd have to have your
We'll
pinky.
do a woman video and get back to you because I don't even
Yeah.
know if there's a guitar, like acoustic rhythm guitar when it changes.
When Young does it, he capo changes live, and I, what do you call it? Stagger. I changed my capo
Yeah.
later on in the song.
Wow, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, we don't want to change capos at the same time.
Hello, boys. Yeah. Oh, from Brazil.
Hello,
Let's see.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it for
Yeah.
tonight. It's been lovely chatting with you guys. We did 90 minutes tonight. We'll do it again maybe
Hell
tomorrow,
yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll probably be mixing another song
Why
tomorrow.
did John choose Rickenbacker? They look cool, and he liked that chunky rhythm sound.
And he painted it. I didn't know that myself. So
Yeah,
maybe
it was
that's something to
natural, and then he
say.
painted it black. But he saw it and thought it was the coolest thing he ever seen. And then it obviously, those old '50s Rickenbackers have really great tuners on them. It's really resonant. It's really chunky, and at the time, that chunky rhythm sound was what everything.
We'll be posting this live later, probably. We'll just put it up on the main channel. You'll find
Uh-huh.
it there. I think I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, you guys can watch if you missed anything. And we've explained a lot of this stuff.
Sergeant Pepper, I think, is Paul playing mostly on the Casino for the lead guitar. I'm sure
Yeah.
George is doing some of the leads.
I mean, he had the SG at the time. We haven't delved into that to figure out which guitar is what yet on stuff. Engelberg can sing. We have Engelberg can sing up.
Yeah, we've got a
Yeah.
pretty good version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have a great Saturday night. We'll probably be here working and stuff.
Is today even? I don't even know
It
today
is
was Saturday. I didn't
no,
know
we're
it was
gonna have a
Saturday.
great Saturday.
Yeah.
night.
It's just another day to me.
Paul had a Telly for Pepper. Yeah, it's a Fender Esquire. It only had the bridge pickup. But I think the only thing he did on that was the Good Morning solo.
Yeah, starting
A
over.
Selmer amp.
The
Oh, yeah,
chords are
starting over.
great. You got that some
Yeah.
augmented stuff going on again.
And when I see you,
He's trying to get back to the early days.
I
That's-
don't know what that means, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, those letters.
Yeah.
Welcome from Japan.
Welcome from Japan or China
Or China, yeah.
or Korea. One of
Oriental.
the Asian continents. All right.
Hi, Anonymous.
Imagine the 50 years. This tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a new movie, hopefully,
We are.
from Let It Be. What shoes?
Those are my shoes I use for my Sgt. Pepper costume when I play with Beatle groups. They're just painted loafers.
Yeah, What Is Life? Definitely. That's a hard song to play live, to sing that. What is that life?
And with that riff over
Da
top.
da
of it.
da 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 da. It's pretty tough to do that, guys. The bass player got that 70s Paul haircut.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. The legend of Let's Play.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys aren't
You're a
going
Bob
out?
guy.
Why not just stay? Well, I gotta pee.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I gotta pee pretty bad. I'm dancing here.
We're gonna keep working on stuff. Devin just got home. I'm gonna hang out with her.
Yeah.
We've been on here 90 minutes, so we're.
Do you know? Oh, we know how to play them all. You know.
Yeah, we've learned them all at least once.
We've done Don't Bother Me before the show. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Don't make us choose, Paul.
We did Crying, Waiting, Hoping at my first show. We did. Crying, Waiting, Hoping, guys. Crying,
Crying,
waiting,
waiting,
hoping,
hoping.
you'll come back maybe someday soon. Think you'll love my mind. Hi.
I am not a natural born lefty. I'm actually right-handed, but I've always played bass and guitar left-handed. I can't play more than an E chord right-handed on guitar, or finger anything on bass. You know.
But he's always been around right-handed guitars, so he's learned to play
Yeah.
righty,
But alas,
On
this
lefties.
is just the way I gotta go.
lefty and
You know?
righties.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, guys.
Cheers.
I think that's it. We're gonna sign off here. Cheers. Thanks for joining us. It's been lovely. We'll be back again to do this later. I'm glad you guys stuck around for that. Lovely to see you all. Bye from Ably House. Love you.
Bye.
Peace out. Goodbye.